Kia ora and welcome to Dunedin Television's Healthy Home series. And in this episode, we're focusing on healthy pets. We'll be talking to veterinary professionals about how pets can be an important part of our lives. We look at what kind of pets could suit certain kinds of people and how to care for them. We'll also look into what it takes to start a career in the veterinary field. First up, we wanted to find out the importance and benefits to having a pet in your life.
Okay, gosh, well, where do I start? I mean, the first one is we know that they can reduce blood pressure. They're very calming.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of studies done around the benefits of pets in health and well-being. People recovering from strokes, people with heart disease.
Well, it's mental well-being, really. I think they make you happy. As long as you're a pet lover and you're not allergic to them, they tend to make you happy.
Yeah, owning a pet is obviously a responsibility, but the payback is huge. Companionship, it's a basic need of people to care for other things, other animals, other people, especially young and vulnerable. We always tend to back the underdog, and that's the same deal with looking after a pet. And it gives a lot of meaning to a lot of people's lives.
Definitely with having a cat now, I find just patting them, the stroking makes you a lot more calmer, and just knowing you're going home to something. I mean, I see a lot of animals here and get lots of cuddles, but just going home to your own pet, they're there, they're waiting at the door for you.
The benefits of pets in therapy is very important, and even pets involved in prison situations, helping prisoners get overcome their issues. And obviously the service dog side of it as well. I've worked a bit with some of the guide dogs in the past, and that's been really interesting, fascinating as well.
Oh, they just make them fulfil my life, really. I mean, it's like I often tell my partner, it's like, don't even make me choose Harley, because I want to choose you.
They don't judge you about how you look or how your day's been. They're just, there to greet you and say good day and give you a cuddle, but then they want fed, but that's alright. They normally come back once they've filled their bellies and stuff.
If you're a family and you have small children, it helps them learn empathy, it helps them learn caring, learn responsibility, all of those things that I think make you a better human being.
They don't judge. They're very forgiving. If you're late home, anyone else in the family is going to tell you off. The dog's going to be pleased to see you.
And they bring you more encouragement to get out and exercise as well, especially if you have a dog. You want to take them for a walk and socialise and buy toys and give them environmental enrichment.
They hold no grudges, they're never, they're not very often nasty, and when you're sad, they look after you because they know.
It's unconditional. I mean, they truly display unconditional love. I think we can learn a lot from animals.
Like my wee girl, she's only 4.5, and we got her 2 guinea pigs, and it's great. She has to learn how to feed them. She has to remember you have to feed them, you have to clean them out. It's not just cuddles and kisses when you feel like it.
They're very calming, loyal, loving. You can't ask for unconditional love the same as what they can give you.
They don't judge, they're always happy to see you, but in return I give them that back just as much, because they rely on me 100%. They can't go and source their own food and water, I have to give it for them, and as well as medical treatment.
So for children it's great, I think it's wonderful. It does help them learn the cycle of life, because your pet doesn't live forever. So they learn that there are sad times when you have to say goodbye to your pet.
We'll now find out if our industry professionals actually have pets in their lives.
I have one very spoilt cat. She's been well looked after for 19 years, and she doesn't like other cats or animals. In respect to her, I don't take anything home from here. She's in her golden years, she deserves a little bit of peace and quiet.
I have 3 dogs and 1 cat. While that might sound like a lot, it's probably the least amount of animals I've ever owned. I think because I'm travelling a lot more, it's harder. One of them hiding right behind me here.
Two dogs and a cat at home.
Well, there's always the cat and dog divide, isn't there? Are you a cat person or are you a dog person? And no one's going to change that with any recommendations. That's just going to be it. They each have their place. I have one of each, and they provide different feedback, different benefits, really.
My partner has a few working dogs. Myself, I have recently just got a wee kitten. a wee exotic cat. He's one of the wee flat-faced ones with short hair called Maurice.
I've got horses. I've got 2 horses. I've got a goat called Lucy, 4 dogs at the moment, 2 cats. So I've got a lot, and a couple of chickens.
It takes a lot of caring and patience to be a veterinary professional. Now we find out how and why these people chose this as a career.
Would you believe I read a book about a young man who wanted to be a vet? This was shortly after I wanted to be a deep sea fisherman, so I was pretty young. And I got that idea in my brain about, I was probably 9 or 10, and yeah, that's what I was going to be. And then just before applying for university, I thought, I'd better just go and check this out. So spent some time with a local vet and absolutely loved it, and realised it's not a job, it's a way of life.
It was interesting. I actually started a career in hospital laboratory medicine. Fell in love with the James Herriot books and thought it'd be a really lovely lifestyle. The reality is that James Herriot doesn't really exist in the real world. Yeah, and I spent about 5 years as a vet, and then I actually went and worked in the corporate world for quite a long period of time, involved with animals. I was working for one of the global pet food manufacturers, and had a lot to do with the human-animal companion bond studies, and that really interested me about how important animals are in our society. And then after a long period of time, I decided to go back into veterinary medicine, and so I've been back in practice for about 4 years now.
Just the love of animals. I've been animal mad from the word go. Kira, stay there. I've actually got a really good friend of mine that's a dog groomer, and she sort of asked me if I would like to come and just do some work experience there, and I said, oh, for sure, because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I started doing some architectural drafting stuff, and I thought being stuck in a room with people and writing, it wasn't my thing. So I really wanted to work with animals, so I asked my friend to, if I could do some work there, and she was fine with that, and yeah, just went from then. I just absolutely loved it.
Basically, I've been here for nearly 2 years now. Came from a banking background, and so basically, the executive office does everything. I pay the bills, I look after the staff, I make decisions, I meet with the board, I make pretty much every decision for the SPCA.
I was showing around, and we had there was a person here grooming, and I helped her out for a few hours. I got a call about 2 days later, would you be interested in learning grooming? So I jumped at that opportunity, and I've loved it ever since.
It comes, but yes, everyone loves animals and they grow up with them, but it comes to actually wanting to nurse them and make them better and give them a better life. So that's why I became a vet nurse.
I come from a medical background, like my father, my grandfather, my uncle, my sister, all doctors. So I was meant to be a doctor. But I've always loved animals, always got on with animals, always been around animals, and so I went against the grain and went and did veterinary instead.
I did work experience through Gateway to start me off before I did go and study when I was at school, so that was quite a good way for me to see if it was vetting or vet nursing I wanted to do. And I quite like vet nursing more than the vet side of it, because you got to spend more time with the animals and with the people.
Vet nursing's not all about hugging the animals and things. There's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done as well, setting up cages, tidying up after the vets and things like that as well, making sure the vet has everything that they need to perform the task. Yeah, I do a lot of that sort of stuff as well.
I have the balance of two things. I've got the ambulance at the top of the cliff with education, and that's really big on prevention, and the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, which is the investigation side of things where the offence has already happened. Having that balance keeps me sane.
I'm in charge of promoting this animal welfare organisation, publicising what we do here, encouraging people to come and adopt these lovely kittens from us, puppies as well, all sorts of the animals that we look after here. We are involved in animal welfare, so we are looking after the needs of animals, often stray animals, abandoned animals, animals that have been uncared for the first parts of their lives and now are lucky to be with us, and we can rehome them into a loving home.
I did seize an elephant once, which wouldn't happen to most inspectors in New Zealand, and that was with a circus and the animal wasn't being housed suitably. So when I say we cover just about all animals and ones you might not expect as well from time to time.
After the break, we look at what it takes to be a pet owner and give some advice on what pet may be suited to you. Murray's Vet Clinic is the oldest yet the most modern veterinary clinic serving the Mosgiel and Taieri areas. We offer a wide range of services including full medical and surgical facilities for all animals, grooming and cremation. Murray's Vet Clinic, Dukes Road, Mosgiel. The team at Humanimals Veterinary Clinic have the philosophy that every pet deserves quality veterinary care, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Operating in Dunedin for 30 years, Humanimals is a vet clinic that truly cares about your pet's well-being. Call 456 2345 or come into the clinic at 44 Rancalla Street, Dunedin South. At the Otago SPCA, our role is to make sure that all animals in Dunedin and the Otago region are being looked after properly. Otago SPCA offer a haven for animals in need and adoption opportunities for the community. We appreciate your interest and support. For help and advice, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have any concerns, give us a call. The team at Humanimals Veterinary Clinic have the philosophy that every pet deserves quality veterinary care, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Operating in Dunedin for 30 years, Humanimals is a vet clinic that truly cares about your pet's well-being. Call 456 2345 or come into the clinic at 44 Rancalla Street, Dunedin South. Murray's Vet Clinic is the oldest yet the most modern veterinary clinic serving the Mosgiel and Taieri areas. We offer a wide range of services including full medical and surgical facilities for all animals, grooming and cremation. Murray's Vet Clinic, Dukes Road, Mosgiel. At the Otago SPCA, our role is to make sure that all animals in Dunedin and the Otago region are being looked after properly. Otago SPCA offer a haven for animals in need and adoption opportunities for the community. We appreciate your interest and support. For help and advice, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have any concerns, give us a call. Welcome back to Healthy Homes, Healthy Pets Special. Now let's hear from the professionals about what considerations should be made before choosing the pet that best suits you and your lifestyle.
Pet ownership is definitely a personal preference, and lots to consider, not only perhaps the size of your house, but certainly the size of your house. If it's very small, you don't want you know, a massive dog that's going to be cramped. Perhaps a small cat is more for you. If you are considering dog ownership, obviously you will need a property that's well fenced and appropriate, so that the dog's not going to run away at every turn. You know, dogs can be little ratbags, and they're always looking at an opportunity to run off down the neighbourhood and escape and get themselves in trouble. So you need to consider how your home is laid out for dogs.
Yeah, I mean, it really all it depends, of course. I mean, if you've got a little home, you know, you don't want to have 10 dogs living in it. You know, maybe you could have, you know, maybe you have to limit the size of your dog if you've got a little house. I'm lucky enough that I've got 7 acres, so I can, you know, I can have as many animals as I please, or that I can afford to keep, really.
If they're too high maintenance, cats and dogs, then you might consider something from the rodent family, something smaller.
So lots of people get rats and mice, guinea pigs, inside rabbits as well, and get lizards and turtles and fish and birds, and the list goes on. They take a little bit more specialty care.
They're easier to manage in a smaller property. And large house or large yard, then you can look at the bigger animals. You might even have room for a sheep or a goat. And chickens. I'm a great fan of chickens, especially in this day and age where there seems to be a whole lot of cruelty going on with our eggs, or where our eggs come from. And people come back to me when I'm hassling them to buy free range, they say, I can't afford it. Get a chicken, it's cheap, and you can't get fresher eggs than that every morning.
The must-dos for pet ownership are the health requirements. We say, guys.
So basically we talk about the 5 things that an animal needs. Food and water, shelter, exercise, veterinary care, and probably the most important is love, because if you love them you'll do the rest. So those are the things you need to consider. Some of them are free, some of them aren't.
When you're getting a pet, you're going to have to, they're expensive. You know, it's everyone thinks it's, especially when you can go on Trade Me and people are giving away dogs and giving away kittens. That's the easy bit. The expensive bit is you've got to get them desexed, you've got to microchip them, feed them, worm them, keep them.
Vaccinating your animal, really important. There's some nasty diseases out there that can attack cats and dogs. a bit like these guys are attacking me right now.
Make sure you have the funds to look after them. They need vaccinations, they need worm treatment, they need flea treatment regularly, and neutering, because we don't want to add to this population of animals that we can't sustain at the moment.
And lo and behold, if something happens to them, so they may get hit by a car or get sick, and animals get sick, you need to be able to have money to be able to take them to the vet, because it's where the SPCA comes in. So if you have a pet and you can't afford it, you don't look after them properly, people ring us, and people ring us all the time because they're concerned about animals not getting looked after. So veterinary bills are huge.
You can do anything from bathing, some just want nails done, some just want a face done, and then you get your specific breed trims.
It's very important for the dog and the owner for a start off. Obviously the dog looks great after they're groomed. It keeps away hot spots, because where there's mats, if you're not grooming them and brushing them out, they develop matting, and it can get so bad that it'll pull in and tug at the skin and cause what they call a hot spot, and granulomas between the toes where the knots form. They can get pretty nasty, especially with the little breeds. So it's really, really important to keep on top of it.
A lot of people say that animals don't feel pain and the likes, that they do, but they don't express it as much as we do. When you see a cat or a dog who is resting more, sleeping more, just not being itself, it is often a sign that there's something going on. But people will put it down to think, oh, he's just having a bad day or something on those lines. But animals don't lie, they don't fudge their symptoms.
We basically help people care for their animals. So that starts usually with a telephone call through to a consult, work out a plan for what's going on, even if it's just maintenance, vaccinations, checkovers, how to take care of teeth, how to deal with skin issues, whatever. It might involve a treatment plan, medications to resolve a problem, ongoing medications to maintain the animal, or it might involve investigation, blood work, radiography, ultrasound, and through theatre for surgeries, and then the post-op, post-treatment recoveries and maintenance again. So really aiming to keep that human-animal bond comfortable and happy. So if the animal's happy, then the person looking after them is happy as well.
So if your animal doesn't look like it's behaving in its normal way, it could be an indication that something is going wrong. And we often see that in older animals where people may not pick up on signs, and these diseases progress to the point they bring them into us when they're almost too far to do anything. So we really encourage people to this annual animal health check.
And as I say, you really need to consider whether you can afford this animal. Sometimes I see people being perhaps a little bit selfish. They don't realise it, but I want that Great Dane, but I have a disposable income of $20 a week. Sorry, sweetheart, you can't afford it. It's the reality.
So we have a volunteer coordinator, Rachel, and basically what it is, and we're going through a rigorous process of making it better for people. So we're putting some new volunteer induction courses together.
A lot of our volunteers, if they're not allowed to have a pet themselves, depending on their living circumstances, if they're renting a home, they may not have the ability to have a pet inside. They'll come and spend time here with the animals.
And what people don't really understand when they come and volunteer up here is it involves a lot of poo. It's it's not just fluffy, lovely fluffy animals. It is like cleaning poo. So it's especially when it comes to cats. We've got dog walkers that come every day, and also people that come and clean cats, which involves poo.
They might help us cleaning and feeding in the mornings, and then they can spend as long as they like socialising with the animals here on site.
So whether it's a large pet or a small pet, there are obvious commitments to be made. After this short break, we talk to some of the local professionals about what services are available and give some tips on how to care for your animals. At the Otago SPCA, our role is to make sure that all animals in Dunedin and the Otago region are being looked after properly. Otago SPCA offer a haven for animals in need and adoption opportunities for the community. We appreciate your interest and support. For help and advice, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have any concerns, give us a call. Murray's Vet Clinic is the oldest yet the most modern veterinary clinic serving the Mosgiel and Taieri areas. We offer a wide range of services including full medical and surgical facilities for all animals, grooming and cremation. Murray's Vet Clinic, Dukes Road, Mosgiel. The team at Humanimals Veterinary Clinic have the philosophy that every pet deserves quality veterinary care, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Operating in Dunedin for 30 years, Humanimals is a vet clinic that truly cares about your pet's well-being. Call 456 2345 or come into the clinic at 44 Rancalla Street, Dunedin South. Murray's Vet Clinic is the oldest yet the most modern veterinary clinic serving the Mosgiel and Taieri areas. We offer a wide range of services including full medical and surgical facilities for all animals, grooming and cremation. Murray's Vet Clinic, Dukes Road, Mosgiel. At the Otago SPCA, our role is to make sure that all animals in Dunedin and the Otago region are being looked after properly. Otago SPCA offer a haven for animals in need and adoption opportunities for the community. We appreciate your interest and support. For help and advice, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have any concerns, give us a call. The team at Humanimals Veterinary Clinic have the philosophy that every pet deserves quality veterinary care, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Operating in Dunedin for 30 years, Humanimals is a vet clinic that truly cares about your pet's well-being. Call 456 2345 or come into the clinic at 44 Rancalla Street, Dunedin South. Welcome back to Healthy Homes, Healthy Pets Special. And now we're going to meet a few of the local businesses involved in caring for animals and go through some of the services they offer.
Hi, so I'm Jeff Herc, one of the veterinarians at the Humanimals Veterinary Clinic. And my role is pretty much a staff veterinarian, so I would do everything from consultations through to surgery, dental work, like we're in the dental surgery at the moment, and just a whole range of everyday tasks really.
Probably the one area that is our big point of difference is the 24-hour access. You know, this cat that we found a little sore on, okay, it's 7, 8 o'clock at night. Is this important? Is this something that I should be seeing now, or is it going to wait till tomorrow? Well, that's why we're on the end of the phone 24/7, because usually we can talk through how uncomfortable the cat is, how important it is to the owner that it's seen, and the cost involved, because it is more expensive at night time. Is it going to be safe to leave it overnight? Is it something that we need to see first thing in the morning, or do we actually need to come back down to the clinic for? Those are conversations that are really important, and we're always happy to have them. Far rather have that conversation at night than come in with an animal that's really in distress first thing in the morning.
Well, this is Murray's Veterinary Clinic. So in the front of the house, I've got my pets. I have got an interest in tropical marine fish, and just thought I'd build a tank here for people to view, and it keeps the children entertained.
We have quite a large variety of retail goods here for the clinic for your small and large animals. We've got all your leads and collars that you may require, plus specialties food, lots of treats for training purposes, and lots of toys for teething issues.
We have 2 rooms for our consultations. We have X-ray viewers, and this is where most of the work's done. We have our microscope, we have a digital microscope, and we use this quite commonly when people come into clinics taking ear swabs and eye swabs. This is one of our recovery wards. We have a specific animal room for the dogs and one for the cats, so those animals don't mix because they don't like each other, generally speaking. The floors in here are heated as the room is air conditioned. It's soundproofed. And we have a drainage system, which is a flushing drain system to keep everything clean. Again, really important. This is our surgery, where all our large operations are performed. We have a heated hydraulic lift surgical table, which just makes lifting animals much easier for us and the nurses, which is great. Anaesthetic machine, which is the machine that goes boing, basically. Yeah, it's fairly extensive. So all sorts of monitoring for your pets, so that's really important. We do quite a lot of orthopedics, a lot of soft tissue surgeries as well. Now taking lumps off, they're pretty routine, and some larger surgeries are repairing broken bones and screwing and plating, and we do all those sort of procedures here.
I work at Otago Polytechnic. I'm one of the lecturers that works with the full-time course and correspondence courses. Yes, everyone loves animals and they grow up with them, but it comes to actually wanting to nurse them and make them better and give them a better life. But having the qualification, it's a step in the door for not only vet nursing, but then they can specialise. They can go up to Massey and specialise as an anaesthetist or a surgical nurse. They can travel overseas. It's recognised overseas, although you might have to do a little bit more training, like the diploma is recognised in the UK. They can go into welfare, they can go into sniffer dogs training, into the airport side of things. That sounds very exciting to get into. Help handling police dogs, caring for those, working in a facility such as a boarding kennels or a cattery, and actually making a difference in that way. Pet shops as well. That's just such a minority. With zoo, you can go in absolutely any directions you want to.
We have a close relationship with the Otago Polytechnic School of Veterinary Nursing, and our local vet actually also works with them. But the students as well, they're encouraged to come up here for their work experience and come and help us on site with the animals. And they do some on-site training too in terms of healthcare as part of their course.
Absolutely, so we've got an amazing education program, so we're lucky enough to have Steph Saunders back with us. She worked for us for about 25 years and then went to National Office. So she's come back as an education manager, and she's putting together an amazing education program. So we want into schools, primary schools, secondary schools. She talks to community groups.
In education, I might be dealing with a school, so I might be visiting them, or they might come here to us. We have lots of fun doing that. Sometimes even further developed programs where we're dealing with kids with special needs or special issues they might be having at home, so we might be horse riding. It's really fun, I love my job. And then of course we can have the emergencies where there's an injured animal and it's all hands on deck immediately, or the investigation side, which we have a team of inspectors. I'm generally called in when because I'm the old nag, if you like, been here a while, I'm generally called in when things are big or they need some help.
So basically it costs nearly $1 million to run the SPCA every year. We get no government funding, so we rely on the generosity of the public and our supporters to fund the SPCA.
Financial support is very important for us, so we're looking for people that can be regular donors to us. $10 a week is going to cover microchipping a cat once a week, and $20 would cover vaccinating a cat. So, we can deal with all the financial support we can have is much appreciated from the public.
I'd just like to thank all the support out there. Without the support in the community, SPCAs right throughout this country wouldn't function, and we have such a great support network in Dunedin, and we're really lucky. It's a great community. It's a little community, so everybody, if you don't know where we are, come and see us. We'd love to see you up here, bring a picnic. We've got 27 acres, come and have a wander and see all our animals.
Thanks for watching Healthy Homes, Healthy Pets Special. We hope we've given you some helpful information towards choosing a pet, how to care for your pet, and some information about the local Dunedin businesses that make it their mission to ensure quality care for your pet. We also hope that we've given you some insight into the joy and benefits that come from having a pet become part of your family. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about what you've seen in the show or just looking for some advice on caring for your pets, then contact either the businesses shown or contact us here at Dunedin Television by emailing healthyhomes@dunedintv.co.nz.